thumbnail. Welcome. Hi. Welcome to my channel. This is definitely the first time you've been here because this is my first video. And I thought the best video to make for my first one would be all the books on my autumn TBR because I have a lot of books and most of them are on my TBR because I also have a book buying addiction. So without further ado, let's just get into it because I have a lot of books I want to talk about. I'll also give some book recs at the end that I think that you should read this season. Starting off, we have Fairytale by Veronica Lancet. This book, I don't know anything about it other than it's the size of a brick and he has a tail. I don't think that's important. It's just giving an adult version of The Cruel Prince, and I did enjoy that series, so I thought, why not? Anything I've seen about this book is you either love it or you hate it, and I personally think I'm gonna love it. It just seems like something I would enjoy. This edition is just stunning, like the chapter pages. Obsessed. Really want to get to this one, but it's like 800 pages long, so will that happen? Maybe. Will I finish it? Eventually? Staying on the indie covers and big book themes, we have Anathema by Carrie Lake. I read Nocticadia by Carrie Lake last year and I absolutely loved it. That is one of the most perfect books for this time of year. This one, I don't know anything about it other than it's a fantasy book, and again, you're gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I actually don't know anything else about this other than the second book is coming out in a few weeks. I think it's like mid-September, so this is a perfect time for me to pick this up, love it, and then have a second book to jump straight into. Immortal Dark by Tigest Gurma. Tigest Gurma, I'm not sure how to say it, but this is dark academia, vampires, enemies to lovers, supposedly extremely well written, and the second book comes out in November, so again, these are just lining up so perfectly. I have to get to this. I bought this edition when I went to New York. I'm obsessed with the sprayed edges and this book is just screaming autumn. I've heard great things about the audio as well, so it might even be a good book to immersive read. This next one is a little bit different. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt. It's a classic. It's definitely the most classic one on my list anyway. It is dark academia, but it's probably less of a romance situation. It's more at the start of it, someone dies like immediately straight off the bat. The first line is literally about someone's death, so very intriguing. And I believe it's a story of if we suppress our wants, how that will affect us. I don't know, I will let you know, but I do enjoy books that make me think from time to time. Last book on my priority list for this time of year. The rest that I'm going to tell you about are like, I'd love to get to them, but realistically I might not. Last one is a new release. It's Nightshade by Autumn Woods. Again, dark academia, enemies to lovers. I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. This one seems more cutesy compared to the other ones I have lined up. Yeah, this will probably be a nice palette cleanser that is also relating to this cozy time of year. I wish I got the sprayed edge edition that the works were selling, but it's been sold out and I've been trying to get it, but he's her enemy, she's his everything. What? I love that. I'm just gonna fly through, but it's basically every duology ever. For some reason I have an issue with starting duologies and not finishing them, so here are a few of the ones that I want to focus on that I think are perfect for this time of year. First one is 9th House and Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I read 9th House like 2 years ago and I wanted to get into this one like straight away, but I had to wait for the paperback to match this size, so I never jumped into it. And now I just haven't read it and it's been years. The first book we meet our FMC, who's Alex Stern, and she attends Yale, but it's full of societies and secrets. We're kind of learning along with her, so I'm not going to say too much, but it's very intriguing. You're going to be confused for at least 50% of the book, but it was really, really good. I feel like I'm going to need to reread this one before jumping into this one, so that's why they're both on here. The next duology that I never finished is Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, also by Leigh Bardugo. This girl has range. I read Six of Crows, absolutely loved it, tabbed it to pieces, and then I just never picked up Crooked Kingdom. Why? I don't know, but I would love to finish it, and I also heard that the audiobook is really good for this one, so I was thinking, refresh your memory, listen to the audiobook, and then finally get into Crooked Kingdom. I was told that this is going to make me cry though, so if that's true, I'm gonna need some tissues. I don't think I told you what these are about, so I'll just go back very quickly. Six of Crows is about 6 misfits that randomly come together because they all have unique skills that are perfect for a heist. They're going out on a journey to hopefully pull off one of the most impossible heists to ever exist. and it's just following them throughout that journey, meeting each other, finding out a bit of their backgrounds, and then if they can pull the heist off or not. This book is YA and it's brilliant. Like, it's so good. I did put myself through the Shadow and Bone series before reading this, so I did read the trilogy. You don't need to. It definitely gave good background and I understood the world a lot better, especially the magic system. It's not necessary. Probably watch the show, or if you don't care, you will definitely catch on fast enough. But if you do just jump into Six of Crows first, it will spoil the ending of the Shadow and Bone trilogy for you. I wouldn't mind if it did spoil it. You'd probably just have a better time going in here and figuring out everything for yourself. She kind of gives a little, I was gonna say menu, I don't know what this is called, but you'll catch on. You can do it. Continuing with Leigh Bardugo's books, because clearly the girl has range and I have all of her books. The Familiar. This is about vampires, I believe, and society and like power, and it's supposed to be extremely well written. I've had it for a long time. The cover and the sprayed edges that I specifically went out of my way to buy, it was just screaming this time of year, so I really hope I get to it this time of year. Recently saw Victoria Aveyard raving about it on her Insta, which I thought was really cool because you don't really see many authors actually going out of the way to make a video hyping up another author. So that was nice. And then very similar situation to the last duology, but One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. Read One Dark Window, loved it. Actually really loved it. Would like to reread this one. I enjoyed it that much. This one, I got 150 pages in and I stopped mid-chapter and everything. I don't know if I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time or if it just wasn't hitting the way I thought it would, but okay, I think what happens is it changes the point of views up, so we get two different characters that we're mostly focusing on and not really focusing on the people that we met in here. They are still there, but like they're kind of more of a side story, which I didn't really love because I loved the characters that we got in One Dark Window. I want to stay with them, and then something that happened at the end of this one, I was just like, no. Love to get back into this and give it another try because I really want to read The Night and the Moth, which is her newest release. This is about our FMC called Elspeth Spindle. She has a voice inside her head. She has communications. I don't know what's a spoiler, so I'm trying to say this as briefly as I can, but basically our FMC Elspeth Spindle, there's a curse over the town that she's living in, and in order to break it she needs the help of somebody called the Nightmare, and she can communicate with the Nightmare, who is known as this monster, and he's within her. It says it at the back. Basically he's the voice inside of her head, and he says these things, does these things, and she has no control over him. He's just there. It's quite a unique magic system that Rachel has built in this book, and it was really interesting and intriguing, and I really enjoyed the story and the side characters. But when the side characters became the main characters after the ending of this book, it was really hard to continue with that. But now that I know, I feel like it will be less of a shock, and I heard that the ending of this is amazing, so I do want to continue with this series this season. Another book about vampires, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is her newest release and it follows the story of 3 female vampires. It's sapphic, it's, what do they call it? Basically it's toxic lesbian vampires. That's exactly what it is, supposedly. But it's following 3 separate females' stories and eventually it lines up, I assume. I've heard amazing things about this and her writing is phenomenal. I've only read Vicious by her, which is quite a different book to what I would normally read at the time, and I really enjoyed it, so I really hope to get to this one as well. May as well stay on theme and continue with the same author, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. I have always wanted to read this book, but recently I heard that this was the perfect time of year to read it, so I'm intrigued as to why that is, and that's why it's on the TBR. It's not a priority because I feel like I'd be happy to read this any time of year. This is about a woman who nobody remembers her. It's a curse that she has, I believe. Yeah, she makes a deal and now nobody will remember her, so every day she lives her life, the next day or the next even minute she sees the people, they do not remember ever seeing her, which I think is a crazy and very cool concept, because sometimes you'd be like, yeah, I wish nobody knew who I was, or I wish that interaction didn't happen, I want to take it back. But actually living like that, like, how do you make connections? How do you make friends? How do you make lovers? Why did I say that? Why did I say that? I don't know. Anyway, it all changes when one person remembers her. So I think this is going to be one of those groundbreaking books that you carry with you for the rest of your life. Ready for something like that this time? Am I ready for something like that right now? I don't know. Will I read it? I don't know. Switching up the genres, I have The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. Again, this book, I have seen so many people either give it 6 stars or 0. Like, it goes one way or the other. This is not really my typical genre thriller. Like, I've dipped in and out, mainly with Freedom McFadden, but that's about it. This has definitely intrigued me. It's about a kid who goes missing during summer camp, I believe, and it just follows the point of views of many different people. Some people say it's quite a slow build of a book. I personally don't mind a slow build. I kind of enjoy it. I feel like it makes the ending that much more impactful and worth it. So yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by this. And can we appreciate its little suntan that it got from sitting in the sun for a long time. So gonna try and read it before it gets more damaged. While we're on the topics of books that stay with you, Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I've only read one book by her, and that was One for My Enemy. And her writing is the most unique experience I've ever read. She is definitely our modern day Shakespeare, 100%. I know One for My Enemy is a Shakespeare retelling, so maybe I'm biased, but yeah, I really enjoyed her writing, and her storytelling abilities were insane. So Masters of Death, I've heard that this one, it basically, is she in a house with ghosts? She's a vampire, and she's trying to get a ghost to move out of a house because she's also a real estate agent, apparently. I don't really read the backs of books, to be honest. I love going in blind. That's what I'm getting from this. It literally says it, that's why. I feel like if I'm ever in the mood to have an existential crisis, this will be one of the books I pick up. And the last 2 books I have are completely different from each other, and also nothing like I've mentioned previously. But we have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I have extremely mixed feelings, and I hate to go into a book feeling this way, but I'm not very excited for this one, only because I read one of the books in the series already. I read the library or the bookshop. The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. I read The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. Why did I read that one first? I don't know. But I did not like it. Definitely a light, heartfelt, kind of easy romance book. But I just did not like it at all. This one is still on my TBR. 1, because I own the physical copy. 2, I really do like the cover. But I've also heard that this is like not set in this season. It's supposed to be set in summer. Now, I will read and confirm. Just really cute, and I love Gilmore Girls, so if it does give anything like that, I'll enjoy it. And now that I know what I'm getting myself into, I might enjoy it a bit better. I can picture myself sitting in a cafe with a hot coffee and reading this, so it's all good. The very last book that I just kind of threw on here because of the cover is Don't Let the Forest In by C.G. Drews. I don't know anything about it other than I'm kind of obsessed with the look of this book. It's also my first mini hardback that I own. I bought it when I was in New York again. That was like months ago, by the way. It's nearly a year ago since I've been there, so these books have been sitting on my shelves for the longest time. Actually, they've been sitting on a book cart getting squashed. I only built these like the weekend. When I say I mean my boyfriend. This book is supposedly horror-ish, horror-esque. I don't think I've ever read a horror book in my life. I've never read a horror book before, ever, but this is YA. It's part of the YA book club. Is this one? The YA book club. So maybe this would be nice to dip my toes into the genre. Again, I'm not too stressed if I don't get to it, but I would really like to just because it's kind of cool. 2 more books that I want to get to that haven't been released yet is Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Bride was Ali Hazelwood's first fantasy romance, and she killed it. She knocked it out of the park. It was such a fun read with beautiful characters and a beautiful romance. It did lose me a little bit when we got to the Omega version of Nodding. It kind of lost me a bit there, but whatever. I think this next book, her friend is a vampire though, and I don't know who the male interest is. Is it a werewolf? I'll find out. The other book that I want to get to that hasn't been released yet is Brimstone by Callie Hart. It's the second book in her Fan Alchemy series. The first one was Quicksilver, so I didn't hate that book. I actually really enjoyed Quicksilver. I thought it was really fun and interesting. I read it the first time, but I want to listen to the audiobook. If you know, you know. I want to listen to Kingfisher, I mean Quicksilver, before Brimstone comes out, because I feel like I just need to hear that. That's everything that's on my TBR for this season, and to help myself get through this, I thought it would be really fun if we did a spin the wheel series. I thought making a spin the wheel would be a good opportunity to help me get through my entire TBR, and to also make a little series out of it and we can read it together. And I love watching reading vlogs. I don't know if you do, but they're one of my favorite videos to watch, so I would love to try and make them. I do work full-time though, so I can probably make one a year, but I thought it would be fun. So if it'd be something that you're interested in, stay tuned. I would love to make them. And I'm also extremely indecisive, so having a chart. Hi! So having some recommendations that I have for you for this time of year, if you have not read them yet, be Nocticadia by Carrie Lake. I mentioned it earlier in this video, but it is genuinely the perfect balance of a dark academia forbidden love situation. It was so intriguing, the story was good, it's kind of spooky. Basically our FMC's mother passes away and worms crawl out of her orifices. She sees worms crawling out of her mom's like mouth, ears, nose, basically some horrible infection. She spends her teenage years studying it, and she applies to this university that is like extremely away, secretive, called like Dracadia or Draven University. And she applies to this university because there is a professor there who studies the worms that she believes caused her mother's death, and this professor is called Dr. Death. You should meet him. Don't do yourself the disservice of not getting to know Dr. Death. That's all I'll say. Next recommendation I have is also one I mentioned earlier. It's Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. Yes, it's the only book I've read in the series, but it was that good. Some people love it, some people hate it. I was kind of in between because I was so confused for the most part, but not many books stay with me. I have the memory of a goldfish, and the fact that I still remember this one so clearly after reading it 2 years ago, I think it's definitely worth recommending. Dark Academia, a very interesting plot. I'm again not going to say much because I think you should read it for yourself, but I thought it was really fun uncovering all these things and finding them out alongside our FMC, and Leigh Bardugo's writing is very good, so you should read it. The next one is the Mindfuck series by St. Abbey. This is a big book of 5 short stories, and it's following our FMC Lana Myers, who I love. She's one of my favorite FMCs, but basically she's a serial killer and she's murdering men for her own reasons. They're good reasons in my opinion, and her love interest, which is our MMC, is actually the FBI that's on her case, but he doesn't know it's his little like 5 foot nothing girlfriend going around killing all these men. And what a ride. It is amazing. The plot twists, I could not put that series down. So addicting and highly worth the read. It's a little bit dark, maybe very dark, so do keep that in mind if you do go to pick it up, but it's really good. Next one is Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This book, okay, I love Ali Hazelwood so much. She's one of my favorite romance authors ever. Her books feel like a warm hug to me, and this is her first fantasy, and the second one comes out in a few weeks or few months time. So it would be the perfect time for you to pick it up, fall in love, and have the next book ready to go. This is about our FMC who's a vampire, and she has to marry a werewolf to create a truce between their societies. I think it's been a long time since I've read it, but you will definitely enjoy it. Her writing, she makes me giggle so much. The next one is the Crowns and Nyaxa series by Carissa Broadbent. The first book is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I'm obsessed. Like, this is vampires. It's described as the Vampire Hunger Games, which it kind of is, but it's so much more than that. Our FMC Araya is my camera stopped because I've been talking for too long, sorry. But our FMC Araya is a human, and she was adopted by the Vampire King. She enters herself into this trial that happens every 100 years called the Kajari, and the reason she did this is because the winner gets a wish granted by the goddess Nyaxa. But it's such a good book, and it's a series, so if you do enjoy it, you have a lot more to jump into, The first two books follow our FMC Araya and the MMC Rain, who is a vampire, and she meets him during the trials. The ending of the first book is mind-blowing, like jaw on the floor, insane. First two books follow them, and then there's novellas, and then the next two books in the series follows a different couple who we meet the FMC in the first few books. There's a lot going on, but it's definitely worth it. Two audiobooks I'd recommend is Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera. This is just a fun mystery book, and basically our FMC is accused of killing her best friend, but she doesn't remember anything. And it's really fun as an audiobook because it follows a podcast, so the episodes are almost like a podcast, and there's different people with different accents and stuff. It was very entertaining, it was quite funny, and I really enjoyed that one. The next one is Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. This is a dark rom-com, and I also listened to the audiobook of that, and I thought it was really funny. Dark but funny. If you're looking for a giggle, there's one. And two kind of light-hearted rom-coms with vampires would be The Ex-Hex and My Roommate is a Vampire. I don't remember much about them other than they were just charming little fun easy times, nothing outstanding, but they were definitely a fun read for this season. So if you wanted to pick up something like that, there's two. That's all the recs that I really have, and that's my TBR for this autumn. If you want to see what books we read, I will be posting videos of spinning the wheel and reading whatever it gives me. So it could be any book that I mentioned in this video, but I think it'll be really fun to find out. And thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again. Bye!